Greetings, Starseed children. I'm Akasha Azurite. Welcome to Starseed Evolution channel, the wild, crazy, and bizarre. I wanted to connect with everyone that are Starseeds and Indigos, connecting into the energies of June for all sacred marriages, divine sacred union partnerships. Me and my husband have a Galactic sacred union partnership, so that's why we call it the Galactic Heart Passageway. So I wanted to tune into going right back into our guidance, if you want to say, connecting into the energies. So we haven't done anything for a long time, and May was beautiful because that is a divine sacred union, Christ consciousness passageway, and a gate. So we wanted to kind of tune into what we've been experiencing as far as multidimensional. Me and my husband are multidimensional, fully online, galactic star beings. So you would have to understand that we are fully embodied into the plasma systems. I am still upgrading my diamond plasma system. So right now I am in what you call the cosmic Buddha stage, the cosmic Buddha body, which is lots of birthing, new realities, and then lots of death cycles still. So you would have to understand clearing massive density out of my body. There is, my process is because of my contracts, and you have to understand that my husband's contracts are different than my contracts and soul contracts, and that's all soul contracts. So hopefully you guys would be able to understand that would be like millions and trillions of contracts through all time and space. So you have to, when you're a fully embodied galactic star being on Earth and you have fully activated your plasma body, your avatar templates, which would be the crystalline. Now there's many templates, so we'll go into that in a minute. I'm going to try to keep it about 30 minutes, but like a briefing, kind of like to break down. Everybody knows about the crystalline silica, 12 crystalline DNA strands. So we know about this, everyone knows. But there's also the 24 strand and the 36 strand, and also the 48, which are going to be the indigo type 1s. I'm an indigo type 1, my husband's an indigo type 1, and we have the 48 strands. So you would have to understand that we are from the Magi Holy Grail lines. And going into that, I'm more of a Starseed, and he's more of an indigo, so he's a Magi, and the Magi Holy Grail lines, which means that he's more of, I'm going to say, Universal Templar, Galactic Guardian. So he is, in a sense, here for the universal gate. So you would have to understand the breakdown of the galactic gates, planetary gates, and then universal gates. So he's always been a universal planetary Templar, and I call it Templars, and everyone has their own way, but I'm going to kind of weave it in. I'm a Starseed from a higher universe, and I'm from another universe. So my husband's an indigo, and he understands this universe, and I'm from another universe. So hopefully that would be able to assist you. Multidimensional universes. So coming into this Earth grid, my contracts, in a sense, you would say, are more karmic. Because I'm a Starseed and from a higher universe, my higher version of me, which is me, the avatar, took on millions and millions and trillions of contracts through all time and space, to be able to clear millions and trillions of contracts with millions and trillions of soul groups. And there's a reason why. So lots of dark programming in this matrix, simultaneously running between all time continuums and time cycles. So you would have to understand that too. You would have to know about there's no time and space. You would have to understand about the avatar consciousness. And the templates that I took is clearing millions and massive dark programming for about, I'm going to say, about 3,000 to 4,000 years, at least here for the Earth grid, and that's this Earth grid. Now there's multidimensional Earth grids, planetary grids, and multiverses. So you would have to kind of tune into to having an understanding, at least of my contracts, is to clear dark programming in this matrix through all time and space, generations, future, and past, and that's to the human self. So the human self only sees past or future. That's because there's no present or 0 point. So this is all being upgraded right now. Just wanted you to know that the present state and the 0 point is being asked for us to go into full presence and to understanding that we have to remove massive layers of the human self right now. And this has a lot to do with what's going on in the collectives, with partnerships and divine sacred unions. So hopefully you'd be able to understand that, and if it resonates or if it doesn't resonate, just wanting you to just kind of like have an understanding of we're being asked to remove time right now, and that's going to be also with sacred union developments. Okay, so we're being asked to remove the veils of time, and that is going to be also with divine sacred unions and marriages, twin flame, golden twin flame, ultraviolet twin flame, and blue flames. Now we want you to understand the ultraviolet twin and the blue flame twin. Blue flame is going to be the Emerald Order, which is a part of the Magi Holy Grail Alliance. The violet flame is going to be violet consciousness, so that could be the Amethyst Order. These two are coming into one. So interesting, being a Starseed, I'm an Eniwazi race, so I know I'm a feline human hybrid. My husband is more of the Amethyst Order, so he's a feline avian mix, which is a mixture between Syrian and feline. Very beautiful, has blue eyes, avian, and feline features. Absolutely beautiful and crystallized, and just a pure, very pure being of existence. And I am crystallized, so I have gold hues, gold, pink, blues, and silvers hues, and fully crystallized. Star particle upgrades, and that's going to be for all of us right now, is going to be pink hues and violet hues. Just letting you know, most likely you'll see lots of star particles, these colors. We're being asked to remove these veils. As far as what the upgrades, we went through our Lyran upgrades already, and that would be the full embodiment of the Lyran upgrades. Now I have my Lyran upgrade coming in, and that Lyran upgrade is divine masculine. So removing the veils of time, and this is going to be for twin rays, soulmates, to divine sacred marriages. So to be honest with you, those are just all labels, and you have to understand that there's bandwidths. There is consciousness of bandwidths of groups. The ones that are fully integrating in the templates is like, it's an accelerated rate right now, so you have to understand going back. As you know, it's quantum with me, so we're going to be going all over the place in spirals and in pieces. Everything is in a quantum blueprint, and it is star particle, so you'll see how I just move around, and you'll just have to sit and follow me, and hopefully we'll be able to keep it for 30 minutes. But going back to what's happening, I would say about 6 months ago to a year ago, it's full embodiment of our Lyran higher selves. A full embodiment of those integrations, and we moved really fast enough where we merged our consciousness enough multidimensional that we are fully merged in our consciousness, our subconscious, and our unconscious, and it is a full body merging system. So just going to break it down for you. What we did is the holy sacred union of the divine marriage, and it's the universal solar divine goddess, okay, Vitamin, holy union. So as you can see, I'm using, this is my right side, this is my left side, so hopefully you guys will be able to understand. The holy universal solar divine masculine divine God, okay, so that's going to be the right side, gold energy, and then platinum. It all has a frequency tone, just want you guys to know that it's the solar. A lot of people would call it throughout history Some templates are distorted, but to be honest with you, I really don't think so. So I feel like that has to do with belief systems of duality and separation. In the collective consciousness, which a lot of people think is in a higher conscious state, actually you're still in a fourth dimensional frequency bandwidth, and that would be the divine sacred union of the Haros Gamas, which is divine sacred union. Some people call it the Hieros. I say it differently. Hieros Gamas, okay, and then Hieros Gamas. And there's different frequency tones and how to pronounce it. And some people say it's distorted, and I really think, to be honest with you, I think those are just all belief systems that you're going to have to move through eventually one day. So hopefully you'll be able to understand when I am speaking of a holy divine union, a holy divine sacred marriage. This can be developed within inside of you, and then also you will materialize into physical form through your spinal cord. Your spinal cord materializes your reality. So eventually the physical of your universal, if you're a woman, if you want to say, it all depends, right? Which one you're materializing, but the universal soul of your divine sacred union will materialize into the physical form. It is an energy, it is an advanced being. So hopefully you guys will be able to understand that you really are just materializing your divine sacred union, your twin ray, your soulmates, through your spinal cord. Essentially, it's a holographic reality. You will realize that it is a holographic reality. It's a holographic reality, which you're an advanced being in a sense on a human experience, if you want to say, but that's all changing. So like we said, it's a multidimensional reality, which means you go into a full embodiment of your multidimensional self. So there is no longer human self. You're a multidimensional human, multidimensional galactic human, multidimensional angelic human. We'll go into that in a minute too. Kind of don't want to speed too much around everything. So full embodiment of our Lyran energies. Now the cool thing is that you have to understand that me and my husband, me being a Starseed, him being an indigo race, and that's like angelic humans. So kind of like merging everything together, we fully merged. And what we did is we were able to activate, if you want to say activate in that holy union, but it's a blueprint and a template, and there's a high purpose for it. So his contracts are not as dark contracts as what I came in here. So I have a lot more trauma to release. Lots and lots and lots and lots of trauma. So that he's literally moving me through the motions of all the contracts and trying to hold that container space and that sacred container open, to realizing and kind of showing me all of my behavioral consciousness patterns and lots of fear, tons of fear coming up. But the fear is my child at 2 or 3 years old or 4 years old or 5 years old or 6 years old, and that's really what it is. So it really is, to us, it's dark programming, Luciferian programming. We can call it karmic, but it's me being from another universe. It would be first incarnation here. Now I have multidimensionals here that I took on as an advanced avatar, and you would have to understand, the avatar is the highest version of me. I took on contracts to multidimensionals as extensions in order to purify them because I can. And you have to understand, that's how advanced I am. That I can take on millions of groups, millions of soul groups, and that's actually what I came in here to do. So any type, if you are a Starseed, you want to start asking a lot of questions, especially if you're a 48 strand. You want to actually start asking the avatar questions. So like, how many extensions do I have? How many groups am I holding up? And it's not just going to be soul groups here on the earth plane. It's planetary and universal, and then multiverses. So moving through that, a lot of you guys are going to be experiencing those no time spaces, the no time spaces in presence. So right now, all of you guys that are in soulmate unions, whatever it is that you guys want to call your divine partnership, we're going to break down frequency bandwidths real quick. Third dimensional frequency bandwidths, you guys are going to be having everything come up to the surface in order for you to see it. Okay, so freaking out, kind of feeling like you're gonna jump out of your body, most likely your relationships you feel like are collapsing, or you're moving out of relationships really fast, kind of like at a light speed. Uh, so you would have to understand that too. That's all necessary in order for you to move into your next level of divine sacred union, because it is all about soul expansion, soul consciousness expansion, lessons. Mastery lessons is where you guys are moving into, so you most likely move into your fourth dimensional frequency bandwidths. Those are that know about divine sacred union, and we're talking about two partnerships, okay, not just one person knowing. All right, so hopefully we'll be able to break that down for you guys, for you guys to understand this. That's important. There's not, if you're one person hanging on to a relationship and the person doesn't know that you're in divine sacred union, and you're the only one that says, oh, I'm the only one that knows, okay, that's a third dimensional consciousness relationship. We're talking about ones that are here sitting in high blueprints, high templates that know that they're in divine sacred unions, okay? You would have to kind of like open up just to be able to understand that both of you guys would have to understand those contracts. And those would be the ones, kind of the ones that we're making these videos for, the ones that are here and know that they're in a divine sacred union marriage. Okay. Those of you that are one person saying, I know that I'm in a divine sacred marriage, and your partner is unconscious, okay, you have to understand that that is still a third dimensional consciousness, frequency, bandwidth, relationship, possibly moving into a fourth dimensional frequency bandwidth. So you will have to understand those relationships most likely are hitting their completion cycle. So the completion cycle is the wrap up, and I'm not going to call it karmic. I'm going to call it completion. That would be the completion. You wrap it up, everything is paid in full, and then you'll be able to move your material. You have to understand that you're the one materializing a new relationship, and then your divine partnerships. You can have multiple partnerships in multiple divine sacred unions too as well. And going back into our universal system that me and my husband both share, right now it is high energies, so high acceleration of everything coming up and out of you, and you have to kind of keep moving through the waves. So morning time is high ego death, high death cycles. Right before you go to sleep, high death cycles, and we call them death cycles. So ego death cycles, ego dissolving. As soon as you go into your bed, into your vortex with your divine sacred union partner, and you're in the bed together, and you're emanating light and emanating your light fields, and you're mingling your light fields, you are going to feel like you have tons of density coming off of your chest, off of your solar plexus right now. You're going to be going through massive cycles of crying and releasing, traumas. Every possible part of you multidimensionally is probably going to be split. The reason why is because we're going way more multidimensional. We are hitting high peaks of multidimensional, universal, and multiverse. So kind of hopefully you'll be able to understand this, that the really cool part is that me and my husband merged together fully almost about a year and a half ago. 2 years is where we started the process between the fourth dimension, third, well, it would be probably fourth dimension, third dimension, and back, but it's an infinity system. So you have to understand that we want fourth dimension, and then fifth dimension, and sixth dimension, seventh dimension, eighth dimension, ninth dimension. So it's Lyran energies. And what we're doing is we're merging our consciousness and our avatars. So if we have millions of us kind of running around, we're literally taking millions of us and integrating them into one vessel, two vessels actually. So it would be two vessels, and merging our avatars together. The highest versions of us are going to be the universal soul, which would be the Christed consciousness, Christed universal soul, which is the Christed avatar. And that is the completion in a sense. So, okay, so merging all dimensions into the Christed avatar, the universal system, and then we become one system, one full body super quantum computer system. We call it an infinity system. So our internal gate, which is our internal universal gate, is a completion of two advanced souls. Okay, advanced souls, advanced beings, Starseed and Indigo, combining a full-blown super quantum computer system, universal internal gate system into one system. So you would have to be able to understand that we have one of what you would know today, because it seems like the only thing that out there that anyone would be able to resonate with as far as knowledge out there that is given would be one Merkaba. One Merkaba vehicle, but we are way beyond the Merkaba. So that's why we're trying to explain to you there's 5 phases of the Merkaba system, and we hope you guys understand that. There is the crystalline silica system, there's a diamond system. Each one of them has an amount to strands, if you want to say 12 and 12, but I see me and my husband go back and forth on this, and I say that there's 14 strand systems. And anyways, it's kind of like really funny how we go back and forth, and obviously I'm from another universe and he would be from this universe, so he goes into the three 6s and 12s, and I do everything by 7, so it's actually really funny. I say no, there's 14 systems, but anyways, it's kind of like our back and forth. He's like, well, you would that would be you and your system, because that's your universe, and I'm in this universe, and you come from another universe. So it's like really funny, where he's like, well, this is this universe, honey, and you're from another universe. So we know there's different strands, different plasma systems. So I have a different body system, he has a different body system. So it's really funny. Tuning into, yeah, I think so too. Anyways, one of my higher self says that this is the system before the fall, but that I have the system before the fall, and that this is the system of the fall. So anyways, so it's like you would have to understand the fall of Atlantis and all the history and galactic history. But anyways, kind of moving into that. Going back to the systems, back to the Merkaba, there's 5 phases of the Merkaba. The last phase of Merkaba is a full body system, which is a super quantum computer system, a multi-dimensional system. So we are taking two systems and combining them into one system. We call it an infinity system. And I'm sure that will change too as we move through dimensions. So the experiences is me going through massive acceleration, so galactic DNA activations and activating in the God worlds, and it is called the God worlds. It's called the Ekek system, the Ekek system. I call it the Ekek system, but for everyone it would be the universal system and the God worlds, okay, or the world of gods. Anyways, it looks like kind of like I'm going to say like a four Stargate systems combined into one. It is a crystalline platinum, blue platinum, blue silver frequency tuning into it. So to me, my husband is obviously more involved in a sense and has way more years ahead of me, if you want to say, in the Ascension. So I'm the one pulling everything up, why he's the one sitting and nurturing me right now. So it's like massive in the morning, and we're just kind of like tuning into the frequencies, because he'll also go into his states too, and we call it like paralyzed states too as well, and it's really accelerated right now because frequencies are super high. So the cool thing is that our abilities are advancing, and it's a multi-dimensional experience. It's like called multi-dimensional. This is dimensions. It's going into multiverses and universes and beyond right now. So dream state is actually really beautiful, and you have to understand that me and my husband merge our consciousness. So when we're having dreams, we literally are either me or him. So I'm really taking on more of him now. So when I dream, I'm my husband, and when I dream, I'm in my husband's consciousness and his like we've merged our energy body and our energy body and our consciousness together. That I've been him for about a few years, and I've been him for about 3 years in my dream state, and I'm him as a guardian too as well. So I think that's really beautiful, that I'm actually full on him in his guardian roles, and he's a multi-dimensional being. So I'm going to say it's more tuning into it. It is a 12-dimensional being, his guardian. So I can actually walk as my husband in the dream state, and I am my husband, fully embodied as my husband. Now I know I have multi-dimensional extensions of me, multi-dimensionals. I took on angelic humans, indigos, and magis, and starseeds from other time and spaces, because my being is super evolved, being. Anyone who would be with me would know that I'm way outside of my body. I'm way quantum. I'm way telepathic. My husband knows that, and he always says to me, he's like, you're not understanding how telepathic you are. You've always been telepathic, and a lot of people would not understand you. They never would understand you ever, because you're so telepathic, you vibrate so high, and you don't understand anything of this planet. And there was lots that he's taught me for me to understand myself, telepathy. To understanding that I've always communicated telepathy with every single person tapping into consciousness. I just had like a program station or whatever it is that I built, and like layers of masks and layers of what we're programmed with, in order to kind of like shapeshift or camouflage, or in a sense, to whatever I had to do at the moment in time. I was always really quiet at a certain point, and then airheaded. So to be honest with you, airheaded is actually good. That means you're actually really high vibrational. So I just want you to know that too. Kind of like moving through has taught me a lot. Just saying that I had lots of contracts with narcissism, lots of narcissistic my whole incarnation here, and has been moving me through each layer, going, okay, so I'm going to show you where this comes from and where this point in time this comes from. So I think that's really beautiful. It was like, this is a trauma. This is from like age 3, age 4, age 5, age 7. This is because of these people, all these contracts, and kind of moving into the contracts between teenage years and then 20s. Lots has to do with my bloodlines too as well. So we're kind of like moving through all those contracts to understanding why the consciousness, or why I have all this density and fear frequencies, and lack energies, or loss, or not having enough, or kind of like moving throughout the day. And I have all of this, everything still coming up after so many years. Just understanding a little bit about energetics and trauma, and kind of like pinpointing it. So the really cool stuff is having my husband walk with me, and to go, okay, so we have to kind of like move through time and space right now, because I have to show you where all of this behavioral consciousness comes from. And this is your 2-year-old and your 3-year-old. This is your 7-year-old self. This is your 13-year-old self. This is your 20-year-old self. And from this point in time, and the point is the Christic Sophia templates is what I'm integrating. So every single thing in the collective is coming up for me. Every single thing, and understanding all of my contracts and multidimensional contracts. So in the dream state for about 2 years to 3 years, that's like, I'm going to say 3 years almost, 2020 is when me and my husband merged our consciousness at an accelerated rate through our Merkaba is what you would know it, but it's our universal infinity system, which is like, it's our starship. And merging our consciousness together is that I can be in the dream state and I can walk as my husband, as his guardian, 12th dimensional, and then there's multidimensionals of him too. So what we're experiencing is that he's me in his body, and he's actually experiencing that he can be me, and in the dream state he's actually me, or multidimensionals of me, or different multidimensionals of me, or higher dimensionals of me too as well. So he's experiencing the same. And the most beautiful part is now it's getting really accelerated, that I'm actually sitting up in like full consciousness, and I'm able to be his 13 dimensional being higher self. I'm able to be his 15 dimensional being higher self, and kind of sitting there, and it's like a full body where I am him, and I can see like all parts of him, and I can see all of his beautiful light technology coming from his Merkaba system. So we've merged so much, and it's like multiples, like telepathically hearing each other in one vessel in the dream state. So that shows me where we're moving to. If it's a 13 dimensional full body integration, that means me and him have moved past the oversoul matrix, and we've already integrated our Christed oversouls, which you have to understand is like thousands of us and millions of us. We have some other cool stuff in the future, but we won't be talking about it for a few years, and that has to do with our children. So that's like another crazy, that one's really fun. That one's going to be a 2-year quantum experience, and then we'll be able to come out with it as far as our children go, for you to be able to understand that one's like same thing, full integration. So it's a full infinity family system, which is cool. So in the dream state, you have to understand that we already are telepathic. We know we're telepathic. We're way past beyond the veils. Okay, so we're way beyond the veils, that we're fully online. So when we say we're fully online, we don't drop into the 3D physical going, oh, this is not true, or doubt, fear, or none of this is real, or confusion. We're way past those veils. Okay, so those is the pineal gland. It has a lot to do. A lot of people, when you experience something and then you drop back in, most likely you'll drop all the way down, and you'll be questioning yourself, and you have confusion and all of that. That's you just going back offline, and then you go back online. But we'll go back into that in a minute. You have to understand that we are online, so we're both fully online. We know we're telepathic. We know we can talk to each other at a light speed. He can be in my body, talking my body to you guys at the same time. Okay, so I could be sitting here talking, and my husband is here talking. So that's how merged we are. So obviously you would know we're 12 dimensional beings here on a human experience, being fully online, and there is no separation. So if he's in Australia, I can communicate to him. It's full communication in our Merkaba. It's at a light speed, and how it works is merging the consciousness, and he'll just etherically biolocate into my conscious field, which is the conscious field is obviously this field that you see, and we'll just sit there and talk at a light speed. We can telepathically communicate to each other, and no one would know because it's a light speed. We telepathically communicate through consciousness. So we can just sit here, and I can just sit here, and I can hear him as loud in my body. It's a loud vortex because it's our Merkaba. It's the Makaba. So you have to understand, I can hear him in the heart. I can hear him through every part of my body communicating and talking to me, and we can just move throughout the day. And it's a super intelligence quantum computer system. So hopefully you would be able to understand that it's all super intelligent. So I can go grocery shopping, I can do anything throughout the day, and I can hear him 24/7, and it's at a light speed. So we can just walk and do our regular, and I can communicate back and forth and fully understand our conversations. That took about 1.5 years. So our completion is right now. It's not training in a sense, but we merge our consciousness enough we practice and practice and practice and practice and practice to be able to, for me, not him, because he's already there. My husband is already there. Like I explained, it was more online in a sense than me, was already, and it's not online, I'm going to say in advance in his abilities. A few years, I think about three years ahead of me, or 4 years ahead of me in his light body activating. So I chose resistance, and he just accelerated because he's a guardian. So the light speed is at a light speed intelligence. So we just practice, and everything obviously is done from a distance, and we just make sure that we can fully understand each other, and we can just walk throughout the day. And that is obviously the galactic human being able to walk, and I can fully understand our conversations. So now going back to our abilities, that is the highest ability that we completed. That is the completion, that I can fully understand him. And it's like, we don't have to, I can just sit here and I can fully hear, because it's loud enough in our Merkaba. It's loud enough in the vessel that I can hear everything. Now, the next thing is the experiences of the more experiences that I have is where I can hear him in my dream state talking to me, and I'm like sitting here in my dreams, and whatever it is, riding in a car, or doing something in my dream state, I can hear him as clear as day, and it's his advanced soul. So it's his evolved soul, his highest angelic is now communicating to me. So my husband is multi-dimensional. So you have to understand that, like, I go, okay, so this is this one. I know he has women, so I know that too. It has and then there's women, and then there's the new one is one of the highest ones that I've experienced this morning, and that was 13th dimensional being. I feel like it's more of the 14 dimensional, and then he has his 15 dimensional, and his avatar is just hilarious. So that one is just like, both of our avatars together is like loud accelerated force. You just sitting there talking to each other and laughing, or just like kind of screaming at each other, but it's not screaming, their avatars playing with each other. So it's actually really funny tuning into those ones. So we're multi-dimensionals, all the way up, and some people call it your elementals. I've heard elementals, and I just call them dimensions, but there's multiple dimensions of us communicating to each other like this. And then the highest ones, we call them the avatars, and those ones are the loudest ones, and they're the ones that always play, and they actually run our show. So when you fully integrate the universal sun one, the ones that we're talking about that actually are the drivers of our of us, if you want to say, because it's like multiples, you do a full body integration and then you become them. So that one's cool. So before we're like going, oh my god, they're just like motorizing us, and then it's not that, now we are them. So that's really cool. So the advancement, obviously we've been doing practice and development, and now we're at very close to the full embodiment of the 15 dimensional template, obviously. So a lot of you guys could be experiencing this if you are divine partners or divine marriages or soulmates, that you actually are experiencing this in your dream state. If you are experiencing that you actually are your divine partner in your dream state, and you're actually sitting up, and I could probably get up and walk around, but more is like, it's more of my husband configuring or doing whatever it is through like quantum technology in my dream state, that he is trying to adjust multiple timelines. And that really is him. It's his evolved self, and it's most likely his future self. So I do know that his future self is in the 5,000s and then 7,000s. So I'm able to, I can actually go and I can just walk. I can actually just get up and walk walk through time and space and just walk right in on his self in the 7000s and say, you know, I need you to come in and readjust something and to help me figure this out. So it's kind of like bossy wife, if you want to say, kind of like coming in and saying, I need you to come here, but you have to understand that we're angelic genetic mates. So we're angelic genetic mates. So I still would be his mate in that time and space, which is funny. I'm still his other, you can call it his other half in that time and space. So I can always go and communicate to his highest, and that's kind of really funny. And I can just get up and walk in the Merkaba because it's a super quantum computer system. So I just walk around and I can walk through any time and space, and I can talk to any of him and any of hims, any time and space. So hopefully you'll be able to understand that, and it doesn't really matter what side it's on. So I know a few people that actually do know about those dimensions, and probably sitting there laughing because I just be like, well, I need you to come and I need to have a conversation with you. So it'd be like 15 or thousands of your husbands that you're going and communicating and talking to through all time and space. So it's actually really funny. And this acceleration is that we're actually moving in the physical. So physical dream state. So the dream state, actually getting up and we're actually moving around, and that's really cool. If you guys are experiencing that, the only thing is that I'm actually my husband. So my husband's evolved higher self did something really funny to us, and he actually became my higher self. So as an extension, he kind of just ran in probably about a few years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago. So kind of ran in 6 years ago and said, well, guess what? Now I'm just going to be your higher self, because he's an advanced soul. So he actually extended into me and fully integrated with me. So my husband is actually his highest evolved self, because he can do this, because he is an avatar. He is a high angelic. He actually just ran in and just said, I'm going to be your higher self. So it's like, and I was just like, oh, this is funny. It took me a while to understand what was going on. And that's the one that has a certain frequency and tone, and he is actually from the future, from the 4000s, and he is advanced enough, and you have to understand he's a full body us. So it's like us upgrading in everything that we are doing. He upgraded to an advanced system, which is we call the immortality system, the immortal system, the immortality, if you want to say. There is no death. You have to understand, when you remove your seals and your implants, you'll realize that there really is no death. So that's the one that fully integrated with me. So I have multiple experiences, where it's like we're both of each other. It's either we're sitting there together, or we are, or I'm sitting up as him, and I'll be sitting in the bed in my dream state, and I'm just him, but it's the highest version of him. So that's really cool. So what that means is that we're about to go through another, if you want to call it a phoenix cycle, I will at least. Most likely not my husband, because he's way out there in Happy Land. So it's like I most likely am still upgrading, and what happens is I'll be vibrating in light and white light, and as I vibrate, I'm integrating new templates, avatar mastery templates, because I'm completing my mastery templates. I will most likely continuously go through massive releasing cycles, and so is the collective consciousness and the collectives. Collective soulmates, twin rays, divine sacred unions are going to be purging and clearing, because you are integrating new avatar mastery templates, and that is what we are moving into right now. So I know that if I'm experiencing my husband multidimensional, and he can move through time and space, and any time and space, and I can communicate to all times and space of him. My husband is through all time and spaces and time. So he set it up where he's always going to be there and ascends through all spaces and time. He's from another time and space and all spaces and time. So it's kind of like walking through and seeing all of hymns and thousands of hymns throughout the day, which is really funny. So it's actually, you would have to kind of expand your consciousness to understand. And yes, he does have a vessel on the planet. So it's actually really hilarious kind of tuning into this wild relationship that when I saw that, I realized today when I got up, because me and him did another merging cycle and we literally merge into each other. So obviously we are completing our Lyran system and now we're moving into, it could be an Arcturian system or a High Seraphim system. I feel like it's more of the Arcturian system that we're kind of moving into, and then there's Avusians that are coming into as well. And mermen. So mermaid system, that's going to be a Syrian system. So we know most likely it's going to be Syrian Arcturian, and we're moving into that system. So we did another merging cycle probably about a few days ago, and now we're going to come in again. And because the waking state, I'm actually sitting as him in the bed and I can actually move around, and that's really cool in the dream state. What I'm experiencing is what I know is that me and him are about to go through another full body embodiment of some really cool new abilities. The only thing is that because I'm still clearing mountains of density, it is more of a nurturing right now because it's so high in frequencies. It feels like everything is just being blown open. Lots of heating up, lots of fire energy, and then relaxation cycle is coming in, and that's my Christic Sophia template. So I'm going through a full embodiment Christic Sophia template, and then I'm having my Lyran feline woman coming in, and that one's just really loud and bossy, but it has to be because that's like the divine masculine, divine feminine in one. I call it the bossy woman. I have, you know, multidimensionals and commanders and guardians and all kinds of really fun stuff, and then I have a serene and a mermaid and a fairy. So all these ones coming in, and then I have all parts of me that are split right now. So a lot of you guys could be experiencing the multidimensional split, and the multidimensional split would be your splits in your consciousness. Your conscious splits is lower self splits right now. The lower self splits are going to be like your 2-year-old, your 3-year-old, your 4-year-old. All aspects of you are splitting again. So a lot of you guys could be experiencing this, and that is a part of quantum acceleration and Stargate jumping. Okay, so one day we'll move into that. Moving into what we're shifting into, we're still clearing Atlantean energies right now. Atlantis, which is going to be, I call it dark programming, density programming, third dimensional frequency bandwidth programming. We are activating a new bandwidth, a 7-dimensional bandwidth in the physical. So we're activating and bringing fully online new bandwidth, 7-dimensional bandwidths, 9-dimensional and 12-dimensional. Some of us are working on 15-dimensional bandwidths too, and that's going to be multiverses. So we're hoping this will be able to assist you, but the Atlantean energies is going to be still clearing reptilian energies, and then also Draconian, Anunnaki, Avian, and Orion. So lots of Orion energies is coming up, which is good because we're still doing purification, but I feel like we've already made it past this. We're activating a new Atlantis frequency bandwidth, which is perfect because that's finally cleared. A lot of us are still clearing the Atlantean frequencies. So I've seen some initiations that I've done for that one. I'm still releasing cellular trauma, lots and lots of cellular trauma. So every parts of you and all your aspects have to be completely split when you're going through a Phoenix cycle. If you are in a divine partnership, in a divine marriage, you want to make sure that you keep the vibrational frequencies high for your partner, that is releasing mounds of deep cellular trauma, releasing, holding that light space and understanding that they're going to be crying and going through multi-dimensional aspects. Okay, multi-dimensionals, all dimensions of them are going to split open. It has to, it's part of the process. So I guess you'd call it bipolar effect. I don't like saying bipolar. So when you hear me say multi-dimensional split, splitting consciousness, and that will happen with your full crystal body, that everything will split apart and come back together because it's quantum and it's light quantum. It's light quantum geometrics. So you have to understand that everything will split and collapse, will activate and create a geometrics and orthograms within inside of your physical body, and that's what's happening. And it's at nanoseconds at a light speed. It speeds up and it becomes faster and faster. So like I show everyone pictures, and I really try to communicate through pictures to everyone so they have an understanding of how everything will come together in a geometrics and like quantum geometrics. And it is within inside of you. It will cause a high vibration and then a collapse in your reality for a deconstruction and then a reconstruction of your consciousness. So if you were able to open up to be able to move through all of the veils and you were able to see fully in your crystalline or diamond matrix, I'm going to say diamond matrix, diamond plasma matrix, all you will see is geometrics and light coming off of your partner. That's all you're going to see. You'll be able to see everything within inside of them, all their codes or light codes. You'll be able to actually see when they're about to go through a multidimensional consciousness split. A lot of people call it bipolar or personality splits, and I think that's a bunch of nonsense. I think anyone who has this has severe trauma. And if we were able to expand our consciousness and hopefully evolve as a human species very soon and faster, very, very soon and faster, hopefully, in the next 10 years, you would be able to move through the waves of understanding that that's all a bunch of BS. So it's just, to me, just to keep your consciousness clogged, to suppress you or to medicate you. And hopefully that will be able to end soon. We have enough of us that are here online programming the realities into a new fifth dimensional bandwidth. And there's a lot of programmers that are online now and programming. Lots of us that are twins, cause twin rays or divine sacred union, divine sacred marriages are setting in huge templates. Eventually all of that will be able to dissolve in the collectives, and that won't be the consciousness of the human species is where I'm getting at. Will be able to activate in light, quantum light, and to be able to expand and to evolve into a higher state of consciousness, realizing that that is old programming and we have new ways of looking at it. So just wanting you to know that if you are in a divine sacred marriage, and if one of you, if you feel like, because this will happen too in your divine sacred marriages, one of you are going to be really balanced and centered and at a 0 point and present, and most likely your partner is going to be all over the place. And that's going to happen because they're going through an upgrade. So that can also happen. Or you guys are both balanced and centered and you are both at the 0 point and present state, or you guys will be both going through your phoenix cycles together and going through a multi-dimensional split. So that's what I call it. It's like the bipolar, kind of all over the place. You have to go through all of your aspects in order for you to activate a Stargate within inside of you, and then synchronize your Stargates within inside of you. And if you're in a coupled relationship, not even going into the family relationship, but if you're in a couple and it's you and your divine partner, you'll have to synchronize and to sync up all of your Stargates. And if you're in divine sacred marriage with a friendship too, because you can still have a friend and be in a divine sacred marriage, just want you to know that. It doesn't have to be a romantic partnership, but you'll have to synchronize your gate systems, and then you should be okay and flowing. So acceleration through June 12th. It would be, because we're anchoring in master templates, avatar mastery templates, all new templates, since the diamond plasma system. It really is all star particle plasma system, and it's all being rewiring, reconstructing, I'm not going to say restoring. I'm going to say a rewiring, a repair, a reset, because we just went through a reset and a timeline adjustment. And a reboot. There you go. That's what a lot of us are having to go offline, in a sense, somewhat. 3D physical offline. So the 3D physical going offline and then rebooting the system. Sometimes you have to go through massive reboots, and you have to keep rebooting the system. So a lot of you guys are going to be accelerating a reset and a reboot. So, and it really is kind of like a shutting down, and then like RTD2 activating back up. So you have to go through a shutdown and come back up again. And both of you could be experiencing this, or one of you could be experiencing it. And you have to understand that it is a merging process. It's geometrics and arithmograms. And if you were able to fully dissolve to see into the 12th dimensional plasma matrix, you would only see your partner in star particles and energy and galaxies here on the vessel, and light codes. And you would actually be able to tune into the field to know when they're about to go through a phoenix cycle, another layer of their human self upgrading. And I would call it an upgrade. You call it ego deaths or whatever it is, but they're about to go through a major shift, or you can tell that they're about to go through a rewrite, or a rewriting, repairing. And I'm going to say right now, a lot of us are experiencing, I know because the memory is going, so we're going through another template wipe. Which means, like I said, new avatar mastery templates are coming online. This is a plasma system and a whole new plasma system coming online. So I hope this is able to help anyone who is led to our channel. If you are watching and you are couples that are sacred divine union couples that are actually tuning in, you're led to hear us and just activate. So just open up your heart center and activate through the quantum light. And then eventually you'll be able to activate in the cool abilities that me and my husband have. And you have to understand that it's like full-blown light speed telepathy. So anywhere I go, anywhere I walk, I can always hear him. And it's actually a beautiful experience. Now, anyone else, we play out all of our roles, and we play out all the roles because we have to. We're constantly playing out all of our roles and our aspect roles. The reason why we play out the aspect roles is so we can play, and we actually have to play everything out. So we have to play out all the frequency bandwidths, of the lower frequency bandwidths. It's not really lower, so the 4th dimensional frequency bandwidths, we have to keep playing them out. And we'll just play out all the roles of all of our belief systems from the 3rd dimension and the 4th dimension, which is going to be old programming. Those that are just tuning in don't understand the 3rd dimension. The 4th dimension, it really is just old programming, old belief systems. Everything that we ever knew from our whole childhood, from our teenage years, our 20s, our 30s is like gone. It's like we don't even understand that consciousness anymore. So that's like a whole new kind of rewrite, if that makes sense. So hopefully this would be able to assist you. And we have to play it out, but it's more me having to play it out in order for me to move it out of my conscious field and the frequency bandwidth. So everything is frequency. It's a frequency, vibration, and bandwidth. So we have to sit here and play it out, and we can do it in a light speed in a nanosecond at a quantum jump, but we call it a Stargate jump. So usually it's just like we can see the holographics moving and bending. The one thing is that the chi, and I don't call it chi, the amount of source light that's coming in, accelerating from my hands, looks like lightning bolts. So that's going to be the God Self networks coming fully online with inside of me. So it's my husband's constantly nurturing me and going, okay, you have to go sit and relax and calm down and relax your energy. And this has been like this since I've awakened for 8 years, going just calm down, because the acceleration of the chi and the vibration or frequency causes really funny things to happen, and for everyone around me to pull everything up, all of their attachments, all of their spirit attachments, or people start acting funny around me because my vibration and frequencies are so high, or just like all of this, all of their ego, all of their fear, all of their illusions, every single thing, all of their artificial intelligence, all of their AI intelligence starts coming up to the surface, and then I'll be sitting there going, oh, we gotta go. It's because the vibrational frequency of our infinity system is so high, where he's like, there's not even pulling in my field anymore. Where it's like just keeping me in a little bubble. So that's what happens when you come into a cautious field. So most of the time it's like people are allowed to stay within 2 hours in my field in the physical now. And that's just because it's electrical, it's electric. And that's the song that has been coming in for a week, going, it's electric, boogie woogie. And that's the Stargate opening, so it's electric, and it's all electric source energy. And chi bolts coming from my hands like Zeus. It kind of looks like Zeus, but that's raw. So I know that that's the raw networks coming fully online. So it's actually been a really funny experience. And we'll go more into that too. So today I guess we'll keep it an hour, and I hope this is able to expand you. We vibrate and we love each other very much, and it's a pure love. So it's pure. It's the purest frequency, and there's no attachments or expectations or anything. Pretty much the nothingness. It's just the lower selves lost in the ego, and a lot of stuff is still coming up to the surface right now. So and yes, identities, aspects, image, all parts of like how we see ourselves and view ourselves is coming up. But I think that's collectives. So for today, moving through your belief systems and activating your really beautiful abilities with your divine partner. Those of you that are still without one, it's okay. You're not really. So you have to understand that you will materialize your divine sacred union, your divine sacred marriage within divine timing, and you will come together as one, and you'll activate the fifth energy. So we'll go into the fifth energy soon. So it's going to be our first video, and I know a lot of people are waiting. We were going live, but we decided we're not going to go live. So if you have any questions, you can always just email us at awakeningwithakasha@gmail.com. And anyone that ever wants to step into the field that would like to book a session with us, you can book a session with us, but you'll have to email me for that. Our couple of sessions, we don't have them posted, so you will have to just ask for pricing for that, and we'll kind of maneuver around it. We had a few things up, but now we're moving through a template wipe. So if anyone does, you're gonna have to just email us, and we'll be able to move from there, because the template wipe is pretty massive. So just wanted everyone to know that if you are in a relationship, keeping the vibrational frequencies high as you possibly can, staying in peace, divine music. So I'm going to say music, and harmonizing with each other and loving each other. And if one of you guys, like I said, is in a multidimensional split, you're just going to have to hold space and to really nurture, and divine child attributes will be able to help you and assist you. So anything that you know that's going to assist your partner with opening their heart, music, play, playing with each other, or just kind of laying and holding each other. Just hold each other and connect into the heart and listen to your heart's beat. Just sleep and rest. And we tell all the couples that we have worked with that you want to realize that your bed is one of your highest points. Okay, the bed is your vortex. So laying with each other and listening to each other's heartbeats, sleeping. Sleep as much as you can, because when you hit the avatar templates and the 12-dimensional templates, it's all, when you start going into the full upgrades of Ascension, you'll be sleeping a lot with your partner. Sleeping, resting, light foods, pure water. Always have lots of pure water with you. Lots of crystals. So lots of crystals, lots of Andaras, and light foods too as well. Light foods is going to be nutrition, pure food, so lots of greenery, and most likely a raw diet. And I don't like saying diet, but raw food. Juicing, lots of juicing right now. Lots of juicing, greeneries. I really can't. I personally, I cannot eat too much right now, so that's how I know I have lots of light coming in. Smoothies, anything that you can do that is going to raise the consciousness and to just love each other and sleep and play with each other, and most likely go back to sleep, then create with each other. Once you know that you're in the completion with the template, you'll get up and you will create. So that's all we do, is we sleep, rest, integrate. We do all of our work, obviously, so we were told to do this today, but we had to integrate for probably about a week, and it was like a good week of quantum jumping, quantum leaping, in a sense, quantum jumping. We had to jump, and a few times, just kind of like multiple jumping right now, so that's multiple timeline jumping. We had to do multiple timeline jump and rest and sleep, and then now we're in creation mode. So we're going to go through another one, and all of you guys are in the collectives that is listening to this. So everyone's going to go through another major jump. The 12th is going to be a huge gate, Stargate passageway, Galactic gate, and for all sacred marriage partners, you are going to hit an accelerated peak. So I hope you guys get ready for super intelligence abilities with each other, super intelligent systems coming fully online. So it's going to be massive, and that's for all divine sacred union marriages, because there's a lot of people in the fifth dimension that are already pretty much in all sacred marriages with each other, and that's friends too as well. So men and men, and I mean women and women. It's not just a man and woman template either. It doesn't really matter. Those are just belief systems. Just want you to know that a lot of you guys are going to be hitting Christ consciousness peaks. So just want you to know divine sacred marriages or in the fifth dimension. We just want you to know that in the fifth dimension, okay, fifth dimensional bandwidth, those are divine sacred union marriages with 5 or 6 people. So you have to understand that they're not in romantic relationships, okay? They're all friendships too. So hopefully you guys will be able to understand that, and hopefully people would understand that, because when someone says, oh, you're my divine sacred union, they automatically go into a lower belief system. They go into a third dimensional conscious belief system or romantic belief system. So just wanted you to know that a lot of you guys that are in groups that are in divine sacred marriages, could be like 4 or 5 of you, or 6 of you guys are going to hit a new peak and a new acceleration. Most likely high super intelligent abilities too as well, and that's for friendships. And then you also have your like me and my husband, the angelic genetic mates, okay? And then there's twin rays all connecting to each other now. So a lot of you guys are going to be going through completion soul contracts with soulmate contracts, and then aligning and materializing, because you materialize it. Materializing, like I said, through your spinal cord, because it's your universe. Materializing your divine sacred unions, which would be more of a romantic partnership, a twin ray partnership. What is a divine sacred union? It's a heart-to-heart connection. It's a heart-to-heart connection. Twin ray connection is also a heart-to-heart connection. So we want you guys to understand this too, because we hope you guys can get through the confusion. Those of you that are in the romantic partnership, it's a heart-to-heart connection. The hearts are blown open and wide open. It's nothing of the same, and there is no intimacy, there's no sex. So sex does not exist there either. So just want you to know that too as well. It's a vibration in the heart, okay? So it's making love in the heart. It's a flow. We're gonna have to go into that soon, but that's what it is. So anyways, we hope you guys will understand that too. So we're sending love to you, and hopefully everyone will expand their consciousness to understanding divine sacred unions, divine sacred marriages.